Let's get started. So the opportunity and why Reddit matters. So on Reddit, we want to find car shoppers where they find community. And that starts with the research phase. The research phase is where so many decisions are being made. We're not selling impulse buy items like a t-shirt or a vacuum. We're influencing one of the biggest purchases most people make. That means we need to be present where buyers are comparing options, they're reading reviews, asking questions. And right now that's happening on Reddit. So Reddit has over 850 million users and more than 100,000 active communities. They're also known as subreddits for majority of you who are familiar with this platform. So these aren't just random spaces. They're hyper-focused groups where people go deep into topics like car buying, specific models, maintenance, customization, financing, and more. So it's where conversations are happening organically about brands, dealerships, buyer experiences. And that's a huge opportunity for us to join in authentically. Car buyers aren't just showing up and buying a vehicle same day. They're doing their homework, they're reading reviews, they're comparing models or trims. So Reddit is like that stage where shoppers are test driving ideas, asking owners for honest feedback before they ever step foot in a dealership. If you're not visible there, someone else's narrative is going to shape their perception. So let's go into why Reddit is the next big platform for car dealers. Reddit is and has been for a while the world's largest community of communities. It's not just growing, it's exploding right now. So again, with over 100,000 active communities covering every interest imaginable, the platform draws in more than 500 million visitors every single month. At its core, it's built on communities, and 84% of Reddit users have already found or engaged with auto-related communities. They're not here to just scroll on their phone mindlessly. They're here to learn, research, and make decisions. They come here with intent. And that's exactly where the opportunity lies for us and our dealers, showing up right where shoppers are actively seeking trusted information. So who's on Reddit? When we're looking at who's actually on Reddit, it's a really strong mix. 41% are between 18 and 34. Another 36% are 35 to 54. So this audience spans a huge range of active shoppers. Compared to platforms like Facebook, which is going to skew a bit older, Reddit is giving us a great way to reach both first-time buyers and established households in their prime purchasing years. So audience demos are super important, and the Reddit audience is almost perfectly split between male and female users. One of my favorite fun facts that I always like to share with everybody is about females and auto purchasers. We are actually the leaders in car buying. 62% of new cars are purchased by women. It's also been studied and recorded that women directly influence 85% of new car purchases. So if there's a platform with more than 50% female presence, that is a platform dealers should be advertising on. All right, let's talk about who's actually on Reddit for auto dealers. It's not just memes and tech threads on this platform. It's one of the most active and passionate automotive communities online. There are over 450 active auto communities and growing, generating nearly 80 million engagements every single month. Here's the kicker. The average car shopper on Reddit spends about 70 minutes per month engaging with automotive content. So to put that in perspective, that's more than 3 times the time spent on traditional car shopping platforms like Car Gurus or Cars.com, something everybody here is very, very familiar with. So if your dealership wants to be part of the conversation before buyers hit a marketplace, this is where they are. So here's what's going to really set Reddit apart from the others. Not just the size of the audience, it's who they are. 55% of Reddit users have made a purchase based on something they saw or discussed on Reddit. That means people are acting on information and conversations. They're not just scrolling. And here's where it gets even more interesting. 39% of Redditors aren't on Instagram or TikTok. It's a huge audience you're not reaching with your current ad budget on Meta, Google, or other social platforms. So think about it. If you're only advertising on the major platforms, you're leaving nearly 4 out of 10 potential car shoppers completely untouched. So this isn't just audience overlap. Think of it as an audience expansion. Reddit offers dealers a way to reach people who aren't seeing your ads anywhere else. A truly unduplicated audience that you can't access through Meta or Google. And Reddit works because it's community first. Communities create the 3 things that matter to shoppers: trust, safety, and real value. So first, trust. People trust the wisdom of the crowd. Subreddits are built around shared interests. So advice comes from owners and shoppers, not random drive-by comments. That authenticity is going to move people closer to a decision. Second is safety. For the 48% who answered that you use Reddit multiple times a week, Reddit lets people participate without the pressure to perform like on other social platforms. Redditors have the ability to be anonymous on the platform. So that gives them the space and the comfort to ask the real questions: credit options, trading concerns. Is this APR legit? So this is the stuff they're not going to post on Instagram or usually anywhere else. Those honest questions are exactly where your message belongs. So third is value. These are highly engaged threads that persist. They're not just disappearing stories. So answers are going to get upvoted, corrected, and refined. So the best information is going to rise to the top. That creates a signal that dealers can tap into with relevant creative and now dynamic inventory ads. That's going to meet shoppers in context with vehicles that match what they're discussing. So let's start at the top of the funnel. This is something everyone here is probably familiar with, but we start at the top of the funnel for Reddit, the awareness stage. So at this stage, you're reaching people before they've been hit with 10 other dealership ads. At the top of funnel, Reddit is all about awareness, helping users discover who you are before they even start shopping. So dealers can run ad types like takeovers, video ads, carousel ads that are going to feel native to the Reddit experience, but grab attention in high traffic communities. We can actually target by location or interests like car shopping, specific brands, or even finance discussions to make sure your message hits the right audience. And the impact, there's a 23% lift in ad awareness. What that basically means is that your dealership name is actually sticking with shoppers long after they've scrolled past. So this stage is about planting the seed, introducing your brand where real conversations are happening and not just relying on search intent.